Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King, and welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling a little bit better today. So, we have some good news as well. So this is a great surprise. We have some updates to the design changes for 4.1.0, and this is specifically going to focus on Leatherface and Hillbilly. And I'm very, very excited to share the news with you guys. Essentially, all the feedback that we gave, all the constructive criticism that we gave to the developers have now been inputted, and they're going to be making more changes to Leatherface and the Hillbilly. And yeah, let's just jump on into these changes. So it starts off with saying it has been a few days since the 4.1.0 PTB began. Click here for more info, and you can click here to see all of the changes and things like that. And we've been closely monitoring feedback in the following days. Based on the feedback we've received, we are preparing a number of changes in time for the release. So let's take a look at the Cannibal. We are happy to see a positive reception to the Cannibal's update, so we're not planning any large-scale changes. We are, however, making a small change to the tantrum meter so it only increases while the power button is being held. This will prevent you from entering a tantrum when you're trying to put your chainsaw down. So that is pretty much standard. For those of you guys wondering what's up with the ultra rares, that is a bug. That bug will be ironed out and fixed. That is not the way it is intended to be used, so that itself is going to be changed and fixed in the patch. The next one is the Hillbilly changes, and we have voiced our opinions a lot about the Hillbilly changes, and we were saying that they're trying to make this anti-face camping with the Hillbilly, but by doing so, they've hindered his power so much that it is nearly impossible to use his power. I, for one, completely love the overheat mechanic. I think it's fair. It gives survivors a good opportunity to have counterplay to a Hillbilly who is really, really strong. But this is just a little bit over the top, and I don't think this is what they were intending to do. And if you don't know what the problem was, if you use your chainsaw, by the time you revved your chainsaw to start your chainsaw sprint, you would already be 1/4 of the way use of your power. By the time you sprint across the map, you'll probably already be, like halfway or so, which leaves you enough time to only get one successful chainsaw hit. And the hit would have to be pretty much perfect. If someone is turning a corner, if someone is running around a tree and you're just waiting to get that perfect hit, your chainsaw will overheat. If there's multiple people, your chainsaw will overheat. So the whole fear factor of the Hillbilly and using his chainsaw offensively was just completely negated. So they have thus made some changes thanks to our constructive feedback. So let's take a look at it. We had originally mentioned that we were mostly happy with the way the Hillbilly played and only wanted to add a small drawback. However, after watching people play on the PTB, it became apparent that the overheat mechanic was too strict, preventing people from using their chainsaw in interesting ways. This was never the intent, and as such, we are making a series of changes to ensure that your chainsaw is not overheating too quickly or too frequently. So that is the major issue that we were receiving. So let's see the changes they're going to give us. And they also said, please remember that the numbers mentioned below may be tweaked before the full release or after based on the feedback received. So make sure you guys voice your opinions on that. So let's take a look at these changes. First, the amount of heat generated while actively revving the chainsaw has been reduced from 10 to 8. So essentially, when you're holding that chainsaw and you're just revving it, instead of adding 10 every time, it'll add 8. A slight change, but still significant enough to ensure that you can get some of these hits, especially when trying to go around corners or patiently waiting to smack someone down. They also continue saying, additionally, the chainsaw will only generate heat while the power button is being held, like the Cannibal's tantrum meter. So only when you're holding it will it generate heat. So when it's going down, like let's say your chainsaw is 99% and it starts going down, it won't generate heat because, that's obviously not fair. It will only generate heat when you are actively pressing the button to rev. And this says, allowing you to feather the chainsaw much more efficiently than before. Now, this is a small thing, but it is huge. So now, when you're revving your chainsaw, waiting to get that hit on somebody, as it falls down, you can let it fall down a little bit. You won't overheat for that. So it gives you a little bit more opportunity to hit survivors. And this one is huge. This one is really, really big because by doing this, it seems very small. It seems like a small change, but when it's going down, the seconds that were initially being added, the 10 seconds will now be to 8. And then on top of that, it is also not adding an extra 10 seconds every time it's going down. So works beautifully in that sense. Then they continue to say feathering is when you tap the power button repeatedly to keep the chainsaw ready before starting it, allowing you to get a better position before you starting a sprint. With these two changes combined, feathering your chainsaw will generate roughly 60% less heat than before, which is hugely significant. 60% less heat than before. That's over half, which is insane, which will still allow you to use that chainsaw effectively. And then they wrap it up by saying, finally, we're increasing the heat dissipation rate when not overheat from -3.5 to -5. Your chainsaw will also begin cooling down the instant the chainsaw sprints end, rather than after the animation of missing, hitting an obstacle, or hitting a survivor ends. These changes will make managing the heat of your chainsaw much more manageable. So there you go. That is a huge change. This is something that I was mentioning that they should have done as well. And pretty much all of the changes that are here are all based from feedback from you guys. So props to you guys. Amazing changes coming to the Hillbilly. We'll be able to test this out in probably a week or so when this comes out to live servers, and I'm very excited and looking forward to what's going to come with this. Let me know what you guys think about these Hillbilly changes. Cannibal changes are still here to stay, and they are going to obviously tweak some of the bugged add-ons and things like that, so it won't be as unfair. So yeah, the Hillbilly is going to be what they initially wanted. I'm very excited to see what happens, and that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you guys are new and you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, as we're trying to get 100,000 subscribers. We just recently hit 80,000, so thank you guys so much for that. In addition, we are live on Twitch. We're going to be playing some DBD, chatting with some people, so if you are new and you would like to come on out, link will be down below. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.